Wrong chair.
Hex, do you think that Darren's gone on a developer lasering rampage?
No, I hope not.
Me too.
Wait. Is that what I think? Oh, Darren, can't you just use the door instead of bursting through the roof?
Well, could you maybe just use the same hole instead of bursting new holes every single time?
Negative. My trajectory always changes based on numerous factors like wind velocity, gravitational pull.
Yeah, okay. So what's all the news from E3? Tell us everything. Go.
Oh, sorry, Goose. That's strictly confidential. You'll have to wait until next week to find out all the exclusive goodness.
I can't wait that long.
Well, in the meantime, why don't we check out Sorcery for the PS3?
Ooh, magics.
Good distraction, Hex.
Thank you. You begin your quest as Finn, a young sorcerer's apprentice who, alongside his cheeky cat Eraline, is a little too eager to become the world's greatest magician.
Now watch this! Ow! Ow! Ow!
Watch this!
While his master is out and about, Finn becomes restless and accidentally destroys his master's latest potion. This sets off a chain reaction of events that eventually sends Finn off on an adventure to save his master and uncover the mystery behind his feline friend.
What happened?
By the looks of it, you blew up the dragon's blood potion Dash was brewing.
No problem. Just make him a new one.
Not without grave dust you won't.
As you delve deeper into the story, you'll travel to some amazing locations, such as the dark dungeons of Loch Barrow, the eerily beautiful fairy forests, and the upside-down world of the Endless Stairs.
This is crazy. We don't even know which way we're headed.
Right now, I'd say we're headed up. Correction, down.
And each of these locations is full of colour and mystique.
Yeah, it is a great-looking game. The art style really reminded me of the Fable games, and the whole world is kind of drenched in that Celtic feel, which I really loved. There are lots of old ruins you'll have to move aside or mend, astrological puzzles to solve,
All we need to do now is return them to their proper alignment.
but even the odd bit of river dance music.
As you progress through the story, the chapters are illustrated in an old leather-bound book, which looks very magical. And there's some great voice acting by the main characters, too.
You shot me with lightning. In the face.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry about that, but you were kind of being all super evil and stuff.
Yeah, and as the story goes on, it does get very emotional. I knew this because of how much yelling there was.
You stole her! You stole my daughter from me!
No! He didn't steal me! Dash didn't steal me! They were protecting me!
Before you set off on your grand adventure, however, you need to learn how to defend yourself, and this means mastering your wand technique. Using the move controller, your primary attack is the arcane bolt, and this can be achieved with a simple flick of the wrist. You can also curve your shots around obstacles by curling your wrist and send a sneaky sideways bolt at an enemy behind cover. And for the most part, I found these controls very intuitive and were actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, the move does a great job of accurately tracking where you want to send each one of your bolts. Plus, it's great that the move actually feels like you're holding a wand, and it makes that amazing zap noise every time you fire it off. I did spend a bit too long at the start turning sheep into pigs, though.
Whoa!
Oh, and rats. Can never have too many rats.
Dash will be thrilled that you've taken care of his sheep problem.
Aside from this standard attack, which you'll need to rely on often, you'll also discover different spell nexuses scattered throughout the game. Activating these grant Finn with new abilities to control the elements like fire, wind, earth, and lightning.
Just so you know, there's a trail down from the peak.
Each spell has 2 different fire modes, depending on how you swing your move controller.
It's a wand!
Darren.
Your wand, and you can also combine certain spells to create even more devastating attacks. Like sending a twister through a wall of fire to create a flaming vortex. Oh, very effective.
To change attacks, you hold down a button and gesture the direction of the spell you require. And as you do this, time will briefly slow down, allowing you to clear your mind and focus your attacks. And this comes in pretty handy because you'll have to do some serious spell management later on.
I absolutely loved the combat here, guys, which is lucky because aside from the odd puzzle or two, it makes up the majority of the game. Some enemies you'll face are immune to particular attacks, so you'll have to work out the best combinations of spells to do the most damage, especially when the game starts throwing a whole heap of enemies at you at once.
Yeah, I agree, and these chaotic sections can be a lot of fun as you frantically flick about trying to take out as many monsters as you can, but at the same time they can be very frustrating. For one thing, there's a gentle lock-on system that turns the camera towards your enemies, but occasionally I found it would just get stuck on the wrong enemy. This was particularly annoying during those big boss battles.
Ugh, those boss battles took forever. They reminded me of those older, harder games where you're forced to try every possible solution before finally working out an effective strategy to take them down. This wouldn't be such a problem, but that buggy aim combined with some really cheap shots left me in a few cycles of get knocked down, stand up, get knocked back down again, and then dead. Gah!
There are health potions you can mix up on the go, but these also require a moment of clarity that often can't be found while in the heat of battle.
Yeah, but I did like the way as you shook up your potions, it would change the colour on the top of the move controller.
Oh, like this.
Ooh!
I can also do this.
Aside from health elixirs, you can concoct other potions by experimenting with ingredients found or purchased along the way. Hex, I know you like a good old bit of alchemy.
That I do, Goose. I really enjoyed trying out all these different combinations, and it really helped that the game would then add them to your list so you didn't keep accidentally mixing the same ingredients. Potion making involves a strangely satisfying little move minigame. Add some of this, just a splash of this, voila. And once you drink a potion, the effects are permanent, so they act more like upgrades rather than momentary boosters. I mean, I thought that was way more interesting than just picking from a menu. Unfortunately, that's about as much customization as the game allows, and after I finished this, I wasn't that keen to go back and replay it, even on a harder difficulty.
Yeah, it is a pretty short campaign, plus the ending had me totally confused. 1 minute I was introduced to a brand new character I'd never met, and then it was all going one way before it changed, and then it just ended.
For a game to be so close to completion for so long, it's disappointing to see very little more than a rushed single-player campaign. It seems like the developers spent more time working on the controls than the story.
Yeah, but I didn't really mind that here, Darren. I mean, it has taken a long time to get motion controls right, and this is one of the best games I've played using the Move. I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
It's such a wonderful fantasy world they've created, isn't it? I just wish they'd fleshed it out a little bit more with characters, maybe some townsfolk and just a few more locations. But still, having control of the elements in this way was just a dream come true, so I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.